Hey everyone, welcome back to Great Sports Debates. Today we're going to get out our week one picks a little early. We're going to pick every game this year. So check in on that. I haven't figured out the actual day I'm going to do that each week. We're just starting off week one a little early. I'm going to be hitting the road, and I'll follow up with a short video if we make any changes, moves in the line, or anything of that nature. Now, as you know, if you watched last year, we gave 4 win totals. We were 4-0 on those. And I just gave you 0, 1, or 2 best bets each week. And that was very profitable as well. A lot of people asked for every game, so I'm going to give that pick. I'm going to pick every game this year. However, just so you know, though, that's not how I bet. I don't bet every game. Some weeks I don't bet at all. And usually it's only 1 or 2 games that I really like the line on. So we'll start with some of the interesting ones. Buffalo and the Jets. I hear people taking the Jets outright, Jets money line, all these things. And I could definitely see where people would go that way with how good the Jets defense was. They got Quinn Williams, they got Sauce Gardner. And then the offense, you add Aaron Rodgers. But for me, I feel like Buffalo is one of the best rosters in the NFL. If I can take them and only give up a point and a half, I'll do that regardless if the Jets beat them at home last year. I like Buffalo here, and that would be my pick in that one. Moving on to one I really feel good about, you got the Cowboys at the Giants. I feel like I like the Cowboys more than most people. They did really well. You add Gilmore next to a young cornerback that's already a ball hawk. And then on the offensive side, you add a good veteran receiver next to a young established number one that you already have. And then you got Micah Parsons, who they're going to probably play more out of a defensive end position to take advantage of how well he rushes the passer. I think Dallas is going to be a little bit better this year. I think the Giants played better than they were last year. I think 3 is too small of a number. I just think Dallas is a lot better team. And I would definitely take that. Maybe one of our best bets. I'll follow up on that. But just for right now, picking all the games, take the Cowboys -3. All right, next one's a little tricky. Cincinnati at Cleveland. Cleveland has a good running game. But I really like Cincinnati. The line opened at -2.5, and then it dropped to the Bengals -1.5. Now, the one thing that I'll warn you about, even though it seems like Cincinnati is a good play here, the line dropped a point, and 80% of the bets are on Cincinnati, which means really big money is in those bets on Cleveland. That's something you usually don't want to ignore. As we saw last year, we took advantage of times where lines were moving 5 points and bet extra. Those are usually clear indicators of people that know what they're doing. I like Cincinnati in this one, but based on that, I might sit that one out. Okay, moving on to the next game. I got another one that I really like. This is Jacksonville at Indy. Jacksonville came on really strong at the end of the season. I feel like Trevor Lawrence really played good in the second half of the season after his first year and a half of just kind of being So I like how they ended the season. Indy's a hot mess. They got probably the biggest boomer bust pick in the draft with Richardson. Dude's a stud athlete. If he learns how to play football, he could be the best quarterback in the league. He's got the rocket arm. He's got the athleticism. He can run. But, he's got to be able to make a flat, pass in the flat and work on his accuracy and, learn how to play within the system. And I'm not betting on that week one. So This is probably one of my very favorites. Take Jacksonville minus the points. Next up, San Francisco at Pittsburgh. I was kind of surprised. Had somebody that like Pittsburgh in this one. I'm really on the side of San Francisco. I kind of feel like it almost doesn't matter who's at quarterback there. They have great offensive line. You got guys like Trent Williams. Defense loaded with stars. They can run the ball. I mean, this is a really plug-and-play team. And I know Pittsburgh finished strong last year, and I didn't get to watch them a whole lot except in the beginning of the season. Not as much as I would like to. But there's no way I'm going away from San Francisco minus 2.5. All right, so the next few games we're going to kind of move into some of the other ones I probably wouldn't bet. Some of the ones that are kind of to not really sure. We'll start with Carolina and Atlanta. Carolina was able to run the ball really good last year. They had a really good defense. I like them minus 3. I know you're starting a rookie quarterback there, but look who Atlanta is starting, and I know Atlanta seems to be a trendy pick here, but in just in general for the division and wins, and maybe I need to go back and look and see what Atlanta did in the offseason. But I'm not really buying that right now. That one's not for me. I'm not on the Atlanta bandwagon. I'll have to see it a few weeks before I jump over there. Next, we got Houston at Baltimore. This is a tough one just for the fact that 9.5 is such a big number. And, no matter what everyone always says about who Baltimore's bringing in and they're going to be explosive and blah, 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 blah. They never really seem to be all that explosive. I obviously think they're going to win. I'm obviously going to take a minus 9.5. I'm just saying when I'm giving up a point spread that big, I usually want a super high-powered offense, a Kansas City Chiefs type team that's going to roll. But I definitely lean to Baltimore minus 9.5 here. Don't have a lot of faith in Houston. Starting a rookie quarterback on not so great team. I don't see many situations where I can go with Houston. Next up, this is a really tough one. Tampa Bay, not a huge fan. And Minnesota I like, but again, that's another team not as good as they played last year. Minus 6.5 is a pretty big number. I'll lean towards Minnesota here, but not one I'd probably bet. Next is Arizona at Washington. This is one I would absolutely avoid. I'm not going to bet it, but just in the spirit of picking all the games as you guys asked, I will. So I'd lean to Washington here. I'm going to do some more digging on this. That's not final. If I change that, I'll put that out on a short video. But Washington minus 6 is what I'm going to list for right now. Green Bay and Chicago, another one. I'm really just kind of avoiding Green Bay until I kind of see how they operate with Jordan Love. If I did have to pick this game, I'd take Chicago minus the 2.5. They're at home. They've made some good changes. Another year for their guys, and Justin Fields at the quarterback. But Chicago has not played great the last couple of years. And while I like Fields, I'm definitely not as high as him as most people. I hear people talking about 4,000 yard passing seasons. I mean, I'll be the first to admit that I didn't watch all of Chicago's games, but I watched several, and some of them were really bad. And some of them it didn't look like Fields did much of anything in the passing game. So that needs to change a lot before I'm really ever confident picking in Chicago. All right, next, we got the Raiders and we got Denver. Denver was a team I wasn't as high on as most people last year, but they performed well below even where I thought they'd be. So it's tough to go with Denver here, but I'm really not a fan of the Raiders. They were terrible last year. The offensive line couldn't protect. I'm going with Denver minus 4 here. Miami and the Chargers, I don't know if I would bet the money line on it being week one. I kind of like to see what I'm getting before I have that kind of confidence. But if you do want to look for that upset special or take someone straight up, Miami is definitely one of the underdogs that I like and do think can win straight up. I'm not really sure why Miami didn't get all the media attention for as well as they played when Tua was healthy. I don't know why so many people are still kind of down on him. I thought he had a great year, and the team looked totally different when he played. So I like Miami. Take the points with Miami. Philadelphia, New England's another good one. I'll take Philly minus 4.5. I think they have one of the best rosters in the NFL. It's going to be tough because they're replacing 5 starters on defense. They did replace those guys with pretty good players. We'll see how they mesh and how much they lose from that. But I still expect Philadelphia to be one of the better teams in the league. And even at New England, I'm pretty good with them minus 4.5 points. All right, next we got the Rams and the Seahawks. So full disclosure, these were the two teams that I actually did the worst on in betting last year early with me overvaluing the Rams a little bit. Plus they had some injuries and whatnot. But they definitely played below, probably what they should consider on their roster. And then Seattle played above that. I'm not going to say, maybe they are that good. We'll see this season. Because I think some of Seattle's stuff was, I definitely wasn't expecting to be Geno to be that good and then be forced to run more, which clearly wasn't the case. And he proved that for a whole season. Plus, you had guys like, Woolen, who was, later picking a guy I really liked, but I didn't expect him to be that good. Seattle was good last year. I don't think they're going to be quite as good as their record was, but let's wait and see. For now, I'm going to take the Rams with 5.5 points. All right, 2 more. Tennessee versus New Orleans. I like New Orleans minus 3. I thought about it a little bit. I really like Tennessee's run game with, when they have Henry. And I'm not a huge fan of New Orleans, although I do think Derek Carr's always been an underrated quarterback. And he's proven before if he has time, he can be pretty elite. And they have some good playmakers out there. Tennessee finished last season terribly. I hate their quarterback situation. Maybe a team I really thought about betting the under on their win total. Take New Orleans minus 3. And then finally, we got the season opener. This is a big game. This is the most bet on game this week. A lot of action on Detroit and Kansas City. 2 super fun teams to watch. I believe the Chiefs opened at minus 6.5, and then it went minus 7, and then it's back to minus 6.5. It looks like the smart money is going Chiefs minus 6.5, and that's probably where I'll wind up picking it, even though, full disclosure, I am a Detroit homer, and that bias might push me over the edge. I do think I like Detroit better than most teams, but I definitely like Kansas City. I got both of them over on the win totals this year on this video linked above. So if you want to check out teams for win totals before that's too late, never a bad option. These are the picks I got for week 1. Let me know in the comments section if you think there's something I should do different to this segment. I'm also trying to throw around, do I want to make the picks as early as Wednesday so I can have all the picks in, Thursday through Monday? Or do I want to just pick Thursday and pick games Saturday, just for any kind of injuries, changes, line movements, things of that nature? Let me know what you think, because as always, if I'm really betting a game, I'm not betting until it's close to that game, unless I think there's some reason I'm getting really good value on a number that's going to change over time. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Look at the far right section. You can see all the teams I picked. And hit me in the comments section. Thanks a lot.